night, because we want everybody to keep that energy going, just keep it going, because it's easy sometimes to, fall off the mark or whatever, say, oh my God, does this stuff really work? And I'm tired, or this or that. And so we just want to support you and, encourage you to just keep going, because miracles happen all the time. So
and the challenges that you send out every day is very helpful.
wow,
I was going to ask that.
Great.
Absolutely, yes.
Great. So how about you, Sharon? How are you doing with it? With everything?
I'm doing, interestingly, it's good, and I'm really having opportunities to practice no judgment, just love, for real.
Wow.
Because there are a lot of things swirling around, a little confusing, pumping up, that cause my day. I try to have the morning to do everything, and I think I've not been able to. I think 4, we're on 11, so I still have to do 7 to 11 of the challenges. And each day I get frustrated with myself, and I said, look, if it's true that the universe resonates with energy and not always the words, then I am keeping my energy up. I am happy. I am shifting from, little downfalls and defeatist attitudes and shifting back up. So even though I haven't yet, but I intend to do all the challenges, I still had an amazing manifestation today, which was out of the blue. Because when Teri put in, I think it was on the 26th, unexpected money, right? I think that's the words you chose, Teri. And I think, Michelle, maybe you, Kathy, we all said, yeah, that works for me.
Right.
To try and do it in one day, 1 week, I thought, okay, that's possible. Well, I'm accustomed to a week being 5 days. And so the 5th day came, or whatever. So whenever 5 days came, nothing miraculous, unexpected came. But today I got a text from a client I haven't seen in about 5 months or so. And she said, we're really struggling, and I booked already a time, and she always pays right away. So I was like, look at this, a week is 7 days, not 5 days. Just like you, Teri, in the last 2 seconds, when you put that time suggestion on it, don't stop until the time is up, and then don't stop even then.
Right.
So I'm up, down, but going forward, Michelle, in answer to your question.
Okay, that's great. That's really great. So what else would you guys like to share about it, or how do you feel about it? But I guess it's pretty clear how you feel. You sound enthused and happy that things are showing up.
I think doing this with other people makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
You have that energy of a
Absolutely.
whole bunch of people doing it, and you know that other people are going to be looking and saying, okay, how is it working for you? And I think that energy pushes it ahead even further.
And I think also, Kathy, you get other people's perspectives.
Yes.
I liked watching people post their vision boards to see what creative way they did it differently from what I did. And that was helpful too.
Yeah. So do you guys notice a shift in how you see the world, your perspective, your mood, anything like that?
Yeah. I'm not focusing on what's going out in the world as much anymore, which I used to do an awful lot. And I'm starting to be able to look at certain situations, and rather than judging them, saying, okay, this is happening for the good of all concerned, no matter what it looks like. I grew up Catholic, and one of the things that I always prayed for was to be a disciple of Jesus. And in the ministry that I'm in, we've been taught to look past the appearance and see that good and the God in everyone, which is what Jesus did in order to heal. And when you do that, things do change.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I agree.
So beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up, I went to parochial school and didn't always have the best experience. Not, it's just different time, but it's okay. I mean, it taught me a lot and I questioned a lot, and the nuns didn't like that,
Nope.
There was a pushback, with my questioning. But because of my questioning, because of my upbringing, and because of my questioning, it led me down a lot of different and really interesting roads. And this was certainly one of them. But yeah. And, the other thing I say too is, I always say this over and over again, because I think it's so true. Once you start shifting, I mean, things to me, my life has shifted like 180 degrees, and I look at things differently. I feel things differently, but it's not like I am always floating on a cloud and being, a Pollyanna and everything is, I mean, I have days where I've got to pull myself back up, but it's like, I do tell everybody, just remember that even Jesus had bad days, So if Jesus had bad days, I think we can have bad days too, and it's okay.
Yeah, we're human.
Right. Right. The important thing is to keep going, to just go a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little, it's baby steps. And then for some people, who knows, sometimes people take a quantum leap, but yeah, it's just but the point is to be consistent, to stay, have this vision, whatever it is that you have, and stay consistent with it. And things will absolutely change in so many wonderful ways. Right, Teri?
They do. They absolutely change. And I'm so glad that we're doing this and that we're doing it as a group, because we feed off of each other's energy. We hear the success stories, Kathy and Sharon and anybody else that wants to share in your success stories. I mean, I manifested a trip to Ireland,
Right.
A lifelong dream. And the energy was there. It was right. It was divine timing, and it happened, boom, just like that.
Right.
So I can't wait to see what the second half of our 30 days is going to look like if we've already done all of this. And I manifested Blue coming in here with us. And who you got there? Is that Wizzy Bee? Oh, hi, Wizzy Bee.
Hello.
She's such a sweetheart.
Wow.
And Blue's been manifesting.
Her name is Blue?
With Wizzy Bee. Oh, and this is Blue Gene. We separate the two genes so we can identify which one is which. So we have our Blue Gene up in Vermont, and we have Auntie Gene in Texas.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We have an abundance of genes.
One of the best things is that you can talk about this, but Teri, Teri and Michelle, you're giving people tools to be able to do it, because that makes a big difference. It really makes a huge difference, because you can talk about it, but if you don't know how to do it or how to get there, then you're kind of floating around and you're not going to get there, unfortunately.
Right.
So thank you for that.
Yeah. Oh, you're so welcome. But it's just like with any tool, you have to use it.
Right. And I think, for us too, I know that I feel really blessed to have this group. You guys are all so wonderful and you have such great energy, really good spirited people. And what I do and being in this group, that keeps me, that's like a blessing for me because it keeps me going. And it's always a good reminder, to walk my talk, and that's really important. So it's I'm honored, and I know Teri is too, for us to be in the group with you guys and be able to do what we do every day. It's really, really, really an honor.
It is. And Michelle, I was just going to say before you said that, we're doing the daily challenges for you all. And I don't consider it a chore. It's like, oh, what can I bring today to the table? So it gets me excited to be able to find those tools to bring to you and to see how it can best be explained. Like the one from today on day 11, it's like, we're not teaching you intuition. We're talking about how that intuition is going to help you to manifest. But I know there's a class coming on developing your intuition. And so that was like really outstanding in my mind as I was working up that worksheet for you all to do. And then I heard record this. So I recorded a message for you as well and put the steps of the stages of intuition. So when I get excited, I get more creative.
Yes.
And Michelle, I think you're the same way. We've worked well together doing that and bringing in the miracles. And so, yeah, so it is a pleasure and it's an honor to be here with all of you in the group. And, even though we're leading it, I feel like I'm right there doing everything, participating with all of you. And I bounce off of your energy. So when you tell me something happened and you're excited, I get even more excited.
Yeah,
I want to bring more to the table.
Right. Yeah. And I know that, I think it was, I think it was another Kathy. Let me just go online a minute.
Oh, Kathy Hand. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the other Kathy in the group.
Okay. Yes. So, and she had said about, she thinks her gut is misleading. And I was really hoping that she was going to be on tonight because I really wanted to talk about that. How the difference between when your ego's talking to you, which when I say ego, I think of mind, I think of emotion, and when your gut or your intuition is talking to you. And I can only share with you how it is for me. What I found is the telling sign. If it just feels at peace, like I feel centered, if I'm thinking about something and when I get quiet, and then if I feel just centered about it and calm and at peace, I know it's the right decision. If I'm, thinking, oh, wow, this sounds really good. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not that I'm not trying to downplay being excited, but sometimes, you're going over the edge, being excited about something. That's not really your gut, your intuition talking to you. It's like, get really quiet. And if you have a sense of peace, then you can be sure that that's your intuition. And maybe I can give you another example. Like I do a lot of writing, and sometimes I'm on a deadline and I've got to write something, and I'm just furiously trying to pull things together and I go, okay, this sounds like it'll be good. But while I'm doing it, I'm going, no, it's just, stop. Just stop, Michelle. Stop the craziness. Stop the I have to get it done. Just stop. And then see what comes to you. And then sure enough, something, either I will see a message or something will pop into my mind, or I'll hear something that, then that little voice says, oh, that's where to go. That's what you need to do. So I'm not sure if that helps, but, if you're way, way overly, okay, I want to clarify that because I think it's good to be excited. Like I'm so excited about the stuff that you guys are manifesting and everything. And I know that's just, the wonderful energy, but it feels really good and it feels really high, but I still have that feeling of peace. Like, oh, wow, that's good. That's right. So does that make sense? Or is it still a little fuzzy? No, yes, no.
I think it makes sense. What you're talking about is when we get caught up in the spin, when
Right.
we're like just like the Tasmanian devil and everything's just going with frenzy. And Karen Palmer, God bless her, I love her so much. She uses an acronym for STOP. So when we do the pause and we step away and observe, you just ask spirit, take over, please. Stop.
Yes.
So that it's not me any longer. I'm not the one that's frenzied and doing the have tos. I have to do this. I have a deadline. But we're saying, okay, just let me step away. And I love that. I love stepping away and observing. And I do that a lot. And I teach my clients that. Every client I've worked with has learned how to pause from me,
Right.
and to really become the observer in the situation.
Yes.
And I wanted to see, Blue, did you raise your hand? I didn't know if you wanted to say something. Yeah.
Hi.
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 Hi, Sharon. We haven't met before.
Hi.
Kathy. It's funny you should say that. Things do not work well for me if I try to force it. So I make energy pendants for people. And for instance, I made one for Jean, Auntie Jean. And it was really plain and simple. And I wanted to put embellishments on it and do this and that. And I spent 3 hours literally trying to make it work. And I was like, okay, why isn't this working? And I got a message as to why. And it's just a matter of, I argue with the universe a little bit because I want it to work one way. And
It doesn't.
it just unfolds the way it's supposed to. And most times I laugh at myself because it works better the way it's supposed to, but it's the ego thing. Oh, I want to make it prettier kind of thing. So, or I really think that this paragraph would flow better if it was over here, where actually it needs to be the last paragraph. And you know what I mean? So
I do.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I want to share one with everybody because I agree with you, Michelle and Teri. And oh my goodness, who doesn't argue with the universe? All the time. Like, I don't want that, I want this. No, I should go this way. But I have an awareness that one of the things I'm working to overcome is my passive, sort of aggressive, not willing to hurt anybody's feelings, tell them the truth as I see it, kind of behaviors that aren't serving me well. And I know this, or I believe this, because I continue to get people in front of me that are annoyingly asking me to stand up and tell them the truth.
Oh, wow.
And so I had a person who wanted to be a client, and we were just not a good match. I didn't believe the way she believed, even though she professed to be spiritual, and I didn't want to work with her. And, when she she just talked long, and I gave her probably, 8 or so free opportunities to just help her because she was in a lot of stress. And then when she said, okay, so now let's figure out the financial, I'm like, no. And I said something very passive and nice. Well, I took my responsibility for my part, so I don't think you're taking yours, and I think you should come clean. I was like,
Wow.
holy crap. Is she pulling me on it or what? And I was trying to accomplish something, so I checked in. with my guides. I said, I don't really want to tell her. Is it my job to tell her how I feel? I thought I was kind enough and I had an ending. And I said, so then that's when that second thing came back. And I'm like, okay, I can't respond angry. I can't respond victim-y. I can't respond right now. And so that was my intuition telling me, I believe, not to respond. So I literally in my car said, all right, y'all, I'm going to exactly what Karen says. Stop, spirit, take over, please. Just take this and whatever you want me to do with it, show me. Oh, Lord, in like 2 minutes, this came back into my head that I have to respond to her. So I responded pretty harsh, which I thought harsh, which was, I don't know. And then her last text to me was, thank you. That was clear. I'm glad you owned up to your part. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Why couldn't you just say thank you? Why you have to, anyway, so.
Right,
The
right.
point is that ask and it will be shown to you if you're not sure which way to go.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Relationships. That's our teacher, right? That's it. That's how we learn all the time, every day, sometimes moment by moment. But that's, for me at least, that's how I grow, is through relationships. And it's a mirror for me, and it's allows me to constantly hone my practice, for one thing, my skills, but my skills as a human being, because we're in this together. And I don't believe in blaming anybody for what's going on. And that doesn't, and sometimes people have a hard time with that when I say that, because they say, well, if somebody assaulted me, you're not going to blame them. Well, I didn't say that other people aren't responsible for certain behaviors, and it's certainly understandable to be angry or upset if somebody assaulted you, and whether that's verbally or physically. However, then you have to move past that. You don't want to hold on to that energy, because it'll eat you up alive. And I know that it will eat you up alive. So in all of life, it's like, what is this teaching me? And sometimes it's really hard, right? Something shows up in your life and you go, what the hell is that about? But yeah. And last year, it's funny because you guys know that I'm a numerologist as well. And last year I was in a 2 personal year. And among other things, 2 is really about relationships, and about relationships in your life, and being, I don't want to use the word subservient, but being a little more maybe passive, a little bit more behind the scenes, a little bit more observing things. And so how do you learn how to do that? Well, usually it comes from being at odds with someone. That's how you learn patience. That's how you learn to get along. So the years right out of the box last year, I was like, it was another person was like in my face. And I had to laugh, because not to them, obviously, but in my head, I'm going, boy, oh boy, you kickstarted this year for me, didn't you? But it was for me to learn how to be more patient, and to listen more. And so the year was a lot more interactions with relationships that could be challenging. So it was really, really a good lesson for me over and over again. But I got through it, and I think I got through with a couple of stars, I hope. I haven't checked my rating sheet with the universe, but I don't know. I hope I get it back soon, you know.
I think so. And that was wonderful. I think Monsi has a share for us about manifesting.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys remember that it was really small in my vision board, but the angels asked me to write a book like for a long time already. And I didn't know like from where to start or what to do. Like seriously, I have no clue. And I forgot that I put it on the board. And me talking to Teri, I asked her, I'm like, you know what, Teri, the angels, they keep telling me that I need to do so many things. And sometimes I don't even know from where to start. They have me working with the crystals, with the classes. They mention a book. They mentioned that I'm going to be helping more people finding their either friends or siblings that they're lost for so long that they don't know what happened. They want me to do that. And Teri was looking at me and then she's like, well, why you start working on your book? And I'm like, but I don't know how. And Teri's like, well, guess what? I'm going to help you. So yesterday, we already set up everything for the book. I have the title.
oh,
I have my copyright number, or I don't know how the name is, but we did it yesterday. So now I just need to take the time, sit down, and start writing the book.
wow.
Are you okay to share your title with us, or you want to keep it a secret while you're working on it?
Let me see if I remember because I translate and I get confused. But if I'm not wrong, it was spiritual life and angel connection, an angelic connection.
Oh, good.
Wow.
So that's the title, and I just need to sit down and start working on it. And I told Teri, my goodness, wait, let me bring my board. And then I showed it to her. I'm like, look, there's the book.
Wow.
that I write because most of them they were in writing, but that was the picture that I draw. I'm like, look, Teri, I draw it really small in a little space, but it's there. So I'm like, it's really happening, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And I'm really thankful for Teri that she's here, for you,
Yeah.
Michelle, and for everybody else that
Thank you.
God and the angels, they keep bringing me the correct people to learn, because we're never going to end up learning. In my opinion, humble opinion, I'm never going to be a teacher. I'm always going to keep learning from everybody. And even my students, they're not my students, they're my teachers. That's how I see it. And that's how I want to keep doing it. So good things could happen to us. And I'm really happy to be here with all of you.
Oh, thank you. for
Montserrat, while you
sharing
were
that.
talking about your book, I looked down and I'm in Arizona. I'm not in the time zone that you guys are in. And it said 333. So Michelle, do you have an awareness for?
Oh, God. That is hysterical because 333, 3 is creative, 3 is writing, 3 is spreading joy, and 333 equals 9, and 9 is universal. So that's spreading the word universally. How perfect is that?
Yes, I'm really, really, really happy. I can't even thank Teri for all the help and you guys that you guys are giving me. I hope to meet one of you soon. And whenever you want to pass by here to New Mexico, this is your house.
Oh,
I'll do wherever I can so you could feel comfortable.
oh,
So
God.
thank
You're
you
so
very
sweet.
much.
Well, thank you. But you know that when you said that you're not a teacher, you are a teacher. We're all students and teachers at the same time, right? We're always,
Yeah.
we're teaching and learning and teaching. So we're students and teachers, and that's the cycle, right? That's the circle. So
Yes. Mhm.
yeah. And something else, a couple of things happened to me. But this was a different manifestation from like last year. So one of the things that my kids had gifted me with, my birthday's in February, and one of the things that my kids gifted me with, which was incredible was a trip to Alaska, right? But we weren't able to go. Now, I have to say this. I mean, I was really completely excited and thrilled about it. And I also, one of the places I wanted to go back to, I wanted to go back to Italy and, and Sicily and everything. But I mean, I was really incredibly grateful. And then COVID hit and we had to obviously cancel. So when they rescheduled the trip, because it's with my son-in-law and my daughter and my granddaughter and my daughter said to me, Mom, you know what? I don't think we're going to be able to do the Alaska trip. Where do you think we're going? Right? Italy. And doing a cruise to Italy and to the Greek islands. So that was, I mean, it was just so, it wasn't like I wasn't totally grateful for the Alaska trip, which I know is amazing, but one of the places I wanted to go back to was Italy. And the other thing that happened, and this just happened recently, was there was this company that had been soliciting me for a while, since October, and wanted me to be part of their online, coaching and this type of thing. And, when you're doing this and when you're out there a little bit, you get a lot of solicitations, and a lot of times it's just, somebody or a company that, yeah, we want you on board and it's going to cost you X amount of dollars, right? So I'm used to that. They have to make money. That's their thing, but that's not for me, right? So this one company, as I said, has been soliciting me since October, and I'm thinking, wow, it must be a really high-end ticket that they're trying to sell, because they're just, I would respond and then I'd say, well, I'll get back to you. And then it would take me a while. So the bottom line is, this has been going on since October, and what's today? Today is Monday. So within the past week, I finally had a phone conversation with her, and it sounded really good, the company and what they were doing. And she sounded like really involved in spreading the word spiritually, as well as, having coaches on there and a lot of different modalities. So I asked her, I said, okay, what's the fee? And she said, no, there is no fee. There's no fee. We just, I had noticed, I don't know how she found out about me, but whatever it was, she said, I'd really like you to be part of our organization. And I said, there's no fee. And she said, no. And then there is a split, of course, if she brings clients to me, but that's fine. And the reason I bring it up is because one of the things I had been saying, because I have spent a lot of money, as you know, Teri, what it costs to, get, public relations and marketing and all that. And it just can be like this huge money pit. And I just didn't want to do that. And so I was hoping to find some kind of avenue to be able to reach more people without having to spend, $10,000 or whatever. So I thought that was kind of miraculous, right? We'll see what happens,
totally.
but
Good luck.
sounds good. It sounds good. So that was this week, and I'm going to put more energy into my Angels Anonymous, a screenplay, which Teri knows about. And I think I have to talk to Sherry Myers about that. So, but as I said, every single day when I get up every morning, I have a routine, and I meditate. I do some exercise. I also have a tuning fork, which I'm starting to use, which I think is fabulous. And you use tuning forks, don't you, Teri? Yeah. So I think having a spiritual spiritual time in the morning, just puts you in this space where the rest of the day seems to unfold beautifully when you do that. I ask for guidance. I pray for other people. I think that meditation, I know sometimes people, they say, I find it so hard to meditate. I get that. But even if you start with like 5 minutes, do you guys all meditate?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm preaching to the choir.
Well, I have to agree with you, Michelle. It's that very beginning of your day that's so important. And that's why I love our get-togethers in the morning. Every morning we gather together as a group and lift each other up, share any wins in our life, share anything that's going on, any burdens. And then we pray for each other and for people that our loved ones are bringing to us to pray for. And it just starts the day off on that right foot, the right attitude, and so much gratitude for each other. That's a big part of what we do as well. And when you can wake up in the morning and say, thank you, God, I'm alive, that just really sets that whole tone for your day. It's something that is the same energy as love when you put the gratitude in there.
Right.
So why wouldn't we do that to start our day? Start on the highest vibration that there is, right? And then that just covers everything. And I manifested Gizmo right there, giving love to his other mama.
That what you said about gratitude, Teri, I know that you can't be in gratitude and be angry at the same time. It just doesn't compute in your brain. You can't have gratitude and be upset and angry. And I have to tell you, I so admire you. I know that you get on EWN every single morning. God bless you. That is some kind of commitment.
Yep.
Really. It's really beautiful that you do that.
It's a joy. And I don't know how I would start my day without it, honestly. Just to be immersed in that beautiful energy. When people start floating into the room, that's what it looks like. Because I have on my screen where I can see all the comments. And I see the names start popping in and I see the comments. And it's just like people coming into your home and sitting down at your table and having coffee with you or just sitting in conversation. That's what it is every morning. And I just can't imagine living without that now. Yeah. And it's not easy to get up, especially when I head further west.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's an act of love, for sure.
And it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
I actually missed it this morning because I went to bed about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
and
my
I
goodness.
decided
Oh my
not to.
goodness.
I usually set my alarm and I usually wake up about 7:45 anyway, because I've set for that now. And I missed it. And it just felt weird not being with Teri this morning.
Yeah, it does. When you're not there, it's just, and when the people that normally are there don't come in, you're like, oh, I hope they're okay. Because we miss you. Yeah. Such an honor to do that. And so whatever your routine is in the mornings, just make it something that you get joy from. Don't make it a chore. Don't say, oh, I have to get up and meditate. Or, oh, I have to get up and do prayers. Make it something that you're excited about. And that's how we manifest. When you feel that excitement, when you feel the joy inside about what you're doing, then you really bring in what it is that you're calling, your heart is calling you to have.
So Teri, I had it on mute, but he was chattering at you.
Of course he was. I don't know if you all know the story of Gizmo. Many people who knew me before Cuppa Joy knew that I had a gizmo that could be this gizmo's twin. They look that much alike. And my Gizmo, I'd had him for 19 years. He was my little buddy, my little sidekick. And he was online with me every time I go online and was very vocal. So Jean hosted the Vermont leg of the Peace on Earth tour. And she has animals, okay? They're everywhere. And so I had met cats. I had met, of course, her two beautiful dogs, Gruffy and Pocky. And hi, guys, girls, sorry. So the next morning when I got up, Jean's going, have you seen Gizmo? And I'm going, what are you talking about, Gizmo? And she goes, you haven't seen Gizmo? And I'm going, okay, we got to get this straight because I used to have a Gizmo. And so this one, Gizmo, comes walking out and I'm going, oh my God, that's my Gizmo. And he had promised me the night that he left, the night before the morning that he left, that I would see him again. I mean, he was just so very adamant about it. You know, I had to let him go after 19 years. He was ready to leave this physical body, but we had a really long talk before he did. And that was one of the things that came out was, you're going to see me again, Mom. Don't worry about it. You know, because I was so very sad to let him go. And here he is. And I got to spend time with him in Vermont. Yeah.
Talk about manifesting. So on this side of the coin, Teri was half asleep and getting ready to do her show, and she was mid-stride. Yes, you're bringing Teri Purple? Oh, you love the Teris. And I said, have you met Gizmo Cat? And she said, Gizmo. And she literally stopped with her foot in the air. And she said, Gizmo. And he walked in from the porch. We had a screen in back porch and the door was open. And he walked up next to her and went, wow.
Oh,
Totally afraid. He never does that. And then he had attitude at her for the whole time. He put his back at her, was mad at her a bunch. He's not like that with anyway. It was the cutest thing. So
wow.
And that's exactly the personality that my Gizmo had. He had total catitude. And he would get mad at me if I told him no, and he would walk in another room and just scream to the top of his lungs. So yeah, it's Gizmo.
yeah.
Wow.
And Jean, you weren't supposed to have him, right?
Actually,
I mean, you went to get him, but you weren't able to have him.
we got the other two, but I turned around and I looked at him, and he had this panicked look across his face, and I told him that I would come back and get him. And I did a month later, and it's a 400-mile round trip.
Whoa.
And they handed him to me. He was totally calm in the car. And then he's such a he's the sweetest cat in the whole world. He's a sweetie pie.
that's beautiful.
Except for Wizzy Bee and Lulu and Blue. She has the most adorable cats. She really does.
I do. And then my dogs have their own fan club. So I've been manifesting Kuan Yin and my relationship with her. And it's interesting what you guys are saying about dealing relationships with people and how to handle them. There's 33 mantras for Kuan Yin, and each one is a little bit different. They have significant meanings, and I don't know them all, obviously, but I found a link and they appeared on my computer screen, and I wrote them all down and wrote down the translation. Of course, I went back and it was gone, one of those things. But I wake up now with a different mantra that I don't quite understand. And then it'll tell me what number it is, and I'll go look up to see the number. But the interesting thing that Kuan Yin, who comes in with, my other friends too, said to me was that she doesn't understand, or not that she doesn't understand. She said that I should understand, and we should understand, and I need to tell people for them to understand that when they walk forth in the light, that they are 5D. or they are ascending or ascended, and that is who they are, and that is where they are. And you bring that with you wherever you breathe and wherever you step. So no matter who you deal with, and if you limit that to 3D, then you're immediately cutting off your connection. So you can't do that with any situation. You have to hold that. So you saying about how people are angry, or, you know, how do you handle that or so forth? So, you know, with me, what I learned to do, and it's worked well for me for this last year, I had the same kind of scenario, was to, the invitation was opened for me to walk into there. And with grace, I did not. And I let them go their way and said, thank you, or but this is where I am, and never apologized for my beingness, but did so with as much grace. But she keeps wanting me to remind people that when you do that, you are putting the turning the faucet off.
Right.
So she's been very loud about that today. So
Wow.
Yeah.
it's been my week.
When
I just think I thank you for sharing that. And as I said, relationships are our training ground and where we learn the most. And I just think that it sounds Pollyanna-ish, but that's okay. I just send love to all. That's it.
Yeah.
That's, you can't hate that gets hate. I have to get on another call, and I didn't know how long we were going to be on.
Yeah, we can get off, but I think Kathy wanted to say something before we go.
Very, very quickly. When I teach kids about anger and about staying in the past and not forgiving, what I do is I take a rope or a piece of ribbon, and I have each kid hold one end of it and have them pull on the end. And then I let them, I say, how do you feel when you're doing this? And they don't feel too good. And then I take a scissor and I cut it. And I say, how do you feel now? And they're, oh, well, I'm free. I said, well, that's what you feel when you forgive. Otherwise you're tied to that other person. And they understand it that way. And I understand it myself at that point too.
Right.
Wow.
You always be there in that holding on. And it gives them an actual feeling, a physical feeling of being free from something.
I love that, Kathy.
I love it too. That's beautiful.
I love that.
And a really,
you kind of reminded me of that. Thank you. You and Kuan Yin.
Thank you.
And a really good point, Kathy, that when we teach something, we get to fully understand it. That's the beauty of it. Even though we're giving of our energy, we're bringing something forth. We're receiving as well when we teach. You teach and you learn. It's all together. You can't really separate it.
No, you
because
no.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, this has been great. I've loved this time together. And I know there were a lot of people, like there were doctor's appointments and doctor's appointments and work and stuff that got in the way of people being able to come in. But I'm hoping, if you all are seeing this in the group, I hope that you'll make, and I see 555, I hope that you'll make a response to the video and let us know if you've manifested, if you have questions. Michelle and I are always here to answer your questions. And we want to just keep this group alive. So if you're not participating, please think about doing so, because we want more success stories like we're hearing here today. It's been amazing. And Michelle, my sister, I appreciate you so much more than you'll ever know. Thank you for being a part of this.
Ditto, Teri. Thank you.
So beautiful.
So, and I do want to chat with you, but maybe we can, chat tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to sign off. I really have to go. I love you guys.
We gotta get out of here. Okay. So thank you all. Thank you everybody for being here. We love you so much.